Hey Bob, what brings you into them?
Well, I feel stuck. I am working this job I really dislike. Um, I'm making really good money, don't get me wrong. I have, you know, it pays the bills, the debt, all my stuff. I've got school loans to repay, and I'm hoping to pursue a career that maybe I can switch to that I'm going to enjoy more, but it pays a lot less, and it's kind of stressing me out. I don't know what the correct approach would be here. Um, and I'm looking to possibly start my own business, right? I have loans to repay in the business degree. I have my degree for business already, but I'm working as a landscaper, and I don't like what I do, but I'm getting paid, more than I think I would get paid starting out my own business right away. And the thought of failure terrifies me. I've done some research, and I feel like, a lot of new businesses out there have like a 90% fail rate. So I just want to make sure I can pursue this correctly and take the right path and not disappoint my family and my friends. And
Hmm.
so I just kind of feel like I'm in a stuck place.
Hmm. So I see from what you're telling me here is that you're feeling this sense of urgency and wanting to go ahead and leave this career, pay off your student loan debts, and be able to go ahead and try something different. On the other hand, this job that you're currently in is paying the bills, getting everything done for your family, supporting everything that needs to be supported. However, you'll find yourself liking this job. Would you
Okay.
like to go ahead and dive in more into that?
Yeah, well, we'll start with the student loans. Um, Obviously, getting my degree in business, I want to move forward with that degree. I don't want to make my loans and my degree in business pointless. I went for business degree. I want to be a businessman. That's that's like the path I want to choose. Um, and so I don't know. I guess I don't know how to pursue it exactly because I have ideas. I have what I want to do, right? I want to be kind of my own. I don't want to say landscaping business or degree, but I want to be able to help the community, but in a way that I enjoy and make money from it. So I want to put myself out there to repair things. I want to be out there as a landscaper for people, and to help people that want the the things I offer for my business. So it's kind of like a bit of everything in one. And I don't know where to even start with that.
So, from what I'm understanding, is that it's not so much a job you're disliking, but rather working for a company. From what you're telling me, you got yourself a business degree, but having your own landscaping opportunities and being able to go ahead and see fit and see what you like and get things done the way that you want to seems a lot more promising than working for a company. Does that fall more in line of what you're talking about here?
Yes, that's pretty accurate.
So you want to be able to go ahead and help this community in a way that would be beneficiary towards you and being able to enjoy it while being able to provide satisfactory landscaping towards clients.
Yes, and I feel there is great potential in making a lot of money as a businessman if you set things up right. You know what you're doing, and I know it's time consuming. It's going to take a while to set up a base for my business. That's one of the things I worry about and stress is getting that base saturated. Um, because, like I said, if I move into something of my own, um, and my big stressor right off the bat is, am I going to even be able to pay my rent? Am I going to be able to pay for my family? Am I going to be able to raise a family? And for all of us to come into play, is it worth me even pursuing what I got my degree in? And
I,
so,
yeah, I see you're very passionate about this, which is really good. I mean, passion is what brings, fuel towards a train. You could think of it as coal that pushes the train forward, and you got plenty of that coal. I think we could use that passion and make something good of it. Take some necessary steps. It doesn't have to be risky. Let me leave this and then start this business. There's always small steps that you could take, finishing up student loans first off, and then trying to consider going into private business, private work, and seeing how that works for you. You know, to me, it seems like your priorities are definitely making sure that you got a roof over your head, especially for your family, ensuring that everyone's well fed and so on and so forth.
Mm.
And then yourself, your sanity, your well being that comes from work as well as home, being able to have those two can make things um, a lot more calm for you. And then thirdly, being able to go ahead and um, take these things and make something of it. You know, like going back to that passion. You got yourself this little unshaped ball right here that you're trying to make into something. And I think it's really awesome that you're trying to go ahead and do something great at starting your own business. But like I said, starting with small steps is essential. Have you been taking care of yourself recently? Sometimes the smallest steps of just doing something as simple as hygiene, doing your bed, just any basic small steps that can help you get into the rhythm of completing small tasks.
Yeah. Um, Hygiene, all that stuff. I take care of myself best I can. You know, I currently with my job, I do get caught up in things, but I always number one priority is always making sure to take care of myself. That's what my goal is every day. You know, first thing in the morning, make sure I get all my tasks done in the morning. Come home from work after a 12, 13-hour shift, immediately making sure I take care of myself before I do anything else. I steps towards the business, I would say that I have kind of thought of and shifted towards a little bit. Other than taking care of myself, I have, you know, put myself out there a little bit to try to get clients. I've gotten business cards made, and I'm working on a website. So I'm slowly making steps towards that slow but hopefully successful transition into being a businessman. Um, but it sounds like to your point, you're wanting me to stay with the job I have so I can pay off my debt or pay off my student loans. And then once I get that paid off, then I could start my transition. Or like what is the full take you're trying to get me to understand so I can better interpret that?
To be able to have sustainability for your family, it seemed like that was very important towards you, but it seems like you're taking the necessary steps towards starting that business of yours, which is really admirable. I gotta say, give yourself some props and some leniency. This dream isn't so far fetched out there that you're not gonna be able to do it. You've been actively taking in these decisions, these opportunities to be able to slowly build yourself there, which I could take back towards those steps. You've been doing it, and I gotta say, congratulations. Before you even started this, you've been already working on it. So um, give yourself a little props, pat in the back. The main reason we're talking about paying off your school debt is to be able to keep sustainability for your family. Maybe put a little more risk into the business if you're looking to get into that. I'm glad to hear that you're taking care of yourself as well. That's very important, and it's essential for you to make sure that you're well within before you can be well without from the outer space. Due to time constraints, we are going to have to go ahead and cut short. However, I do want to go ahead and highlight some key points of that from what I took from you is that you're feeling kind of stuck, like a bird in a cage with this company that you're working with. You have ambition and you want to go ahead and do something different, especially make use of that degree that you got from school. You want to assure that your family is going to have a safe house to come to, roof, food, everything, all the necessary things. And above all, you want to do something different. You want to go ahead and chase the opportunity and seize it. Of all these things that we talked about today, what's something that you'd say is something you'd want to look forward to talking about more in the next session?
That's a tough one. Maybe more about that sustainability. The sustainability. I would say being able to help aid me into maintaining what I have right now before I throw it all and risk it, just before I transfer into the business, helping me with the sustainability of my life currently. Because as you said, and as I've said, having to take care of my family, um, my own debt, my own bills, it takes a toll, you know. And if I transfer over to this other job I want to do, my own job, if I'm going to be able to make do with any of that, you know. So I think having more talk about helping me sustain in the meantime would be something I would look forward to.
Well, Bob,
So
you seem very passionate, you seem well driven, and above all, I appreciate the fact that you're able to help me better understand your situation today. I appreciate you for coming out here to be able to go ahead and talk with me about some things that have been on your mind. It's a pleasure. I hope to see you in the next session.
you too, Dr. Rena.